Today, I want to discuss the topic agreement of the subject with verb or concord of the subject with verb. Though this sounds to be though there is a very simple rule that when the subject is plural, then the verb is also plural. When the subject is singular, then the verb is also singular. But it is very difficult to determine whether the subject is singular or not. So many things have to be kept in mind while determining which word is the part of the subject according to which we are to use the verb. Now we will have a detailed discussion on how various types of subjects are governed by have different types of verbs. First of all, we will see in the light of the noun when the nouns are subjects, so what types of verbs are to be used. Suppose when some uncountable noun is subject, that is always in singular, and so we always use singular verb. But when the countable plural noun is a subject, then we use a plural verb. This would be made clear with the example. Suppose we say that his equipment is very beautiful. Equipment here is uncountable. We don't say equipments, it always remains singular, so we always use the word is. But if we say his tools are not so sophisticated, so here tools is countable and we can use plural verb. So there are so many words which are uncountable and we fail to understand whether it is uncountable or countable. Suppose information is always uncountable. This information is false. But when we are to pluralize it, when we want to make it a plural, we have to use the word bits of information or pieces of information, then we can use plural. These bits of information are not reliable. Here by using bits we have made the uncountable word information into plural. Similar is the case with bread. We never say breads. This bread is quite fresh. But if we want to pluralize bread, then we use slices of bread, loaves of bread, or pieces of bread. We say, these 4 pieces of bread are sufficient for me. We don't, then we can use all. Since we have used loaves of bread or 4 pieces of bread, then we can use 4 pieces of bread are sufficient for me. Similar is the case with advice. Advice is also uncountable. When we are to make it plural or pluralize it, then we use the word pieces of advice. His advice is very useful. His pieces of advice were very enlightening. So in this way, there are certain words which appear to be plural but are as a matter of fact singular. So we have also to keep this thing in mind. This news, the news has S after it. So whenever there is S, we have the impression that it is plural. But news being uncountable is treated always as a singular and we have to use singular verb after it. This news is false. We should not believe it. So same, there are so many other words which carry S after them, but they are always singular. These are the names of some subjects, some sports and some diseases which have S after them, but they are always singular. Diabetics is a very common disease. We don't say diabetics are a common disease. Measles is nowadays non-existent. So measles, diabetes, mumps, all these are the names of diseases which appear to be plural, but as a matter of fact, they are singular. Similarly, there are some sports such as athletics, gymnastics. They also appear to be plural, but they are singular. Athletics has not brought us any medal. So here athletics is singular. That is why we have used had, not have. And similarly, there are the names of subjects: mathematics, economics, statistics. They appear to be plural, but they are singular. Then there are some nouns which always remain plural, they can never be used in singular. And they also have plural verb, such as we may say savings, belongings, goods. We cannot say good. Good doesn't mean good. Well, that does not represent any article. Goods represent article. His belongings are very few. So here belongings will remain plural and we will have to use. Similarly, these goods are very costly. We cannot say this good is very costly. His earnings are quite adequate. We never use earnings, whereabouts. These are all, they are always plural. And we have to use them as such. We cannot use them in a singular form. And there are some words which have s, this means is also appears to be plural, but it is also singular. So there is certain words are always used as plural, while certain words with s always remain singular. So this contrast has to be clearly understood. Then there are some words which do not have s after them, but still they are treated as plural. Police, people, staff. These are three words which are always used as plural. In the same manner, there are some proper nouns. They always carry singular verb. Though sometimes the name of a single firm, the name of a single film, the name of a single entity may look like plural. For instance, when we say Ram, that is a single person. Ram is a very honest person. But sometimes the name of a firm, we say Ram and Brothers, is a very popular firm in our market. Ram and Brothers, it appears to be plural, but it is the name of a singular firm, a single firm. That is why it will have singular verb. Same is the case with the name of the books. Sometimes the name of the books appears to be plural, but we have to use singular verb. Name of a film can also be plural, but that carries singular verb. So proper noun, whether the name of an individual or the name of a firm, always has singular verb. Then there are collective nouns. Collective nouns also most of the time have singular verb. We can say our army is very strong, and we can say this committee has taken two very important decisions. But sometimes we can use plural verb after collective noun when it refers to it not as a single entity or a single group, but it refers to its members. For instance, our team has won. Here team refers to as a collective unit. But our team are having bath. Here team refers to the members of the team. So we have used plural verb in this sentence. So collective noun, though most of the time in formal English have singular verb, but it can also have plural verb when it refers to individual. As for example, the jury is divided on this issue. The jury here refers to a committee, a sort of committee, and so singular verb has been used. Besides this, sometimes we connect nouns with and whenever two nouns are connected with and, we generally have plural verb. Ram and Sham are good friends. Here, Ram and Sham, the subject has become plural. But sometimes when we connect two nouns, but both the nouns refer to one item, one entity, in that case, despite the use of and, we use singular verb. For instance, bread and butter is my favorite dish. So here bread and butter represent only a single dish. That is why we have used a singular verb. Same is that we can say idli and sambar is also very tasty dish. So in this way, though we have used and this law and order, it also refers to the same idea. So law and order is assuming a serious shape in our area. So we don't say law and order are. Research and development department. So research and development is also the name of a single department, and that is why we use singular verb. The nature of the subject changes with the use of the article. So here we are discussing if the secretary and the manager are absent today. The secretary and manager is absent today. When the article is used twice, then it refers to two different persons. When only article is used once, then both the person represent this single person. So this manager and the secretary, it means the manager and the secretary are two different persons. But when we say the manager and secretary without using the with the second word, then it represents one person and similar verb will have to be used. Same is the case when with the possessive adjective also. Sometimes say my friend and brother is very nice. Here friend and brother refer to the same person. But if we say my friend and my brother are very nice person, then here my friend and my brother become two different persons. Sometimes when we use the with adjectives, then they become plural. The rich are not helping the poor. So the rich means rich person. The innocent means innocent persons. The guilty means guilty persons. The poor means poor person. So whenever these used with adjective, it becomes a plural word. Where if we want to refer to a singular person, a poor man, we can't say the poor man, the poor. The poor is a plural word. Similarly, when we use conjunction, they also affect the nature of the subject. There are certain conjunction which, if they are used, then we will have to decide which is the subject, whether the subject is plural or singular. For example, the man along with his children is going to the fair. Along with his children is not the subject here. Only the man is the subject according to which you are to use the verb. The husband as well as his wife is also attending this meeting, as well as also follows the rule or that the first subject is to be considered, not the second one. Then there are certain words like neither nor, either are, not only but also, where the rule of proximity is followed. What is the rule of proximity? The rule of proximity refers to that the subject nearer the verb will decide whether the verb is to be plural or singular. For example, neither the teacher nor the students are going to attend this program. So neither the teacher nor the students, here the students, which is close to the verb, is plural. That is why we have used are. But if the sentence were in this manner, the students, neither the students nor the teacher, then we would have to use is, not according to students but according to the teacher. The teacher being a singular subject, we will have to use singular verb. Same is the case with neither nor. Neither he nor his friends are helping me. So here we have used the verb according to friends. If we were to put the sentence in some different way, neither his friends nor he is helping me. So here we follow the rule of proximity. Whatever subject is near the verb, that will decide the nature of the verb. When indefinite pronouns are there in a sentence, how the rules are to be decided about the use of verb. In this case, when there are indefinite pronouns such as neither of, either of, each of, some of, followed by the plural noun, generally we use singular verb. But when there are majority of, plenty of, and some of, followed by the plural nouns, in that case we use plural verb. But when there are such indefinite noun as majority of, some of, plenty of, followed by uncountable noun, in that case we use singular verb. Each and every is always followed by singular verb. Something, anything, somebody, anybody, all these are singular words and they are always followed by singular verb. But there is a difference between a number of and the number of. In the case of the number of, we use singular verb, but in the case of a number of followed by plural noun, we use plural verb. Our library, which has 500 books, is considered a very modern library. So here in this sentence, we are to use the verb according to library, not according to books, because the main word in this subject or in this sentence is library, and according to which the verb is to be used. So in this way, there are many sentences. The person I met yesterday is absent today. We have to use the verb according to the person. So sometimes when the subject is complex, is long, we have to be very particular to decide which word is being referred to. The procedure of the election going to be held next month has started. Here we have used the word has according to the procedure, not according to elections. So the main word about which something is being said is procedure. And so we have to find out the main word in the subject about which something is being said. And we have to use the verb according to that very main word. Similarly, when a subject is in the form of gerund, then we have to use singular verb. For instance, growing flowers is a very difficult task. Making a house is not so easy. We have used here the verb according to making. When two gerunds are connected by and, then we can use plural verb. Walking in the morning and swimming are very helpful to improve our health. Here there are two gerunds, walking and swimming, which have been connected by and. In this case, we will use plural verb. Now we want to discuss some rules which are still not covered, so that it may become a comprehensive discussion on this vital topic. Well, sometimes there are nouns which have two parts. For example, trousers, tongs, scissors, glasses, spectacles. All these have shears. They have two parts, and these words are always used as plural. For example, his trousers are dirty. Here trousers, though it is a single item, but since it has two parts, so we have used plural. But when before such nouns we place a pair of, then it becomes singular. If we say he bought a pair of scissors is needed to do this work. If we have simply said scissors are needed, but by putting a pair of, we have made scissors singular. So this is the way of using these nouns, that we treat them as plural, but when we put a pair of before these nouns, then it becomes singular. Now we have not yet discussed how we are to treat, how in different form each is used. Sometimes we use plural verb with each also. I will give one sentence which will explain this rule. Each of the boys was given present. Each boy was given present. Boys were each given present. When boys as plural is used in the beginning and each is used later on, then we use plural verb. Otherwise, each of the boys or each boy, they mean the same thing and we have to use singular verb. So this is the way, this is the difference where each can also be used to have plural verb. Otherwise, in most of the sentences, you will find singular verb after each and every anything, something, nothing, none of. All these indefinite pronouns always have singular verb after them. Then there is special use of one of. One of generally is followed by a singular verb. One of the students is very brilliant. One of, but in case we use relative clause after plural noun, then the rule changes. One of the students who were contesting, who were participating in the debate is very eloquent. So here we have used one of the students. The clause applies to the students. Here the rule of proximity applies when the relative clause is inserted. So we will not say one of the students who are participating, not is participating, because the participle clause talks about students, not about one. But in the main clause, we will use singular verb. One of the students who are participating in the debate is very good speaker. Is very eloquent. So similarly, he is among those boys who are likely to win scholarship. So now he is one of those boys. Here we are not talking about one, we are talking about boys, and relative clause refers to boys, not to one. That is why we have used plural verb in the relative clause instead of the singular one. So if there is a difference. If there is no relative pronoun in the sentence with one of, then singular verb is used. But in case one of is followed by some relative clause, then a plural verb has to be used. Then there are some other ways also of presenting the things. For example, more than one boy is participating in the race. More than two boys are participating in the race. So we are to go, if there is a singular subject after more than, then we use singular verb, and if there is plural subject, then we use plural verb. But we can say more boys than one. In this case, we will use verb according to boys, not according to one. So this construction is slightly different. Here we will have to say more boys than one are participating, or more boys than two. It means the same, but it is the construction that makes the difference. And so we have to see whether the boys verb will be according to the boys or according to the one. So these rules have to be borne in mind in order to make appropriate use of verb. And many that has already been covered, I think. So if we bear all these rules in our mind, so we can succeed in any competitive examination. Generally, these rules are tested when you have to appear in some English paper in the competitive exam. You have to appear where you have some test on grammar. So this kind of questions are generally asked. So if this video is attentively heeded to, so it can improve your English considerably, and you can succeed in qualifying many competitive exams such as banking exam or some other exam where your knowledge of grammar is tested. So I request you, if you find this video useful, to subscribe to it and share it with others so that others may also be benefited.